So as always, I bring up my cup, I take a drink, I say to you, do the same. I have a really good drink in here. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of fancy and I like it. Hope you're drinking probably a cup of coffee or whatever, but welcome to the show. Today, you know, as always, the show is about authentic people who have done incredible things. And today's show is no exception. I am so excited to ask you to stay tuned because I have a gentleman who weighed at one point 538 pounds. And sitting here today, he told me he now weighs 200. And all of this story took him to the Oprah show. Stay tuned.
Welcome to our podcast, Doing It Right. This podcast reveals authentic stories from successful leaders doing it right. It's about their journey to become a leader, their choices, motivations, and lessons. In essence, how they built successful personal brands. Your host is Valerie Sokolosky, author of 8 leadership books and nationally known as an authority on executive presence and personal branding. Let's get started. Here's Valerie.
All right. I can't wait to show you something. As you're probably going to see Rick Salewske. Did I say it right? Salewske. You know, okay. Sokolosky. Here we go.
Yeah, that's okay.
Rick, I'm going to show
Yeah, we're going to do the pants.
All right.
Let's
this
do the
is
pants.
the pants that he
used to wear. See, we can stretch them out. See? Oh, boy. And
Is
this is from the steering wheel. So like when my stomach was so big, so I'd get in the car, wherever it is, I'd get in the car and the steering wheel would hit my pants and it would eventually wear a hole in the fabric of the pants because my waist was, these are 68-inch pants. So my stomach would hit the steering wheel and eventually wear a hole in the fabric of the pants. So
There's such a story about this, Rick, because your story is incredible. And add to that the fact that, unfortunately, the statistics that I don't have memorized exactly, but the obesity in our country is going crazy. And we can talk about that all day long, but that's not about the show. It's about you. And you wrote a book that I'm going to hold up now that shares your story. And the title is great, Half the Man, which you are, less than, and twice the faith, which means that you couldn't have done this without a faith system that you have that took you all the way through it.
yes,
Is that right?
Yeah, that is true.
So I wanted you just to start telling the story. And I guess we'll start with, we have to say something to start with. Let's start with Oprah Winfrey. And your story landed you an opportunity to be on that wonderful show. First of all, how did you get to the show? And tell us just sort of, you talk about it in the book, what it was like to be on Oprah's show.
Well, remember one thing. I'm not amazing. God is amazing. I'm not amazing. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I've lost 300 pounds. I've done these things. I'm just a vessel. I'm just trying to get God's word out there. I partnered with God to do all this. So, when people say, well, you're amazing or you have all this willpower, no. I have faith. I have faith. And that's what led me to do all this. It was faith that I got on Oprah. It was faith that I met my wife. It was faith that I had my 3 kids. So when people say, you're amazing, I am not amazing. I'm just this little guy from Allen Park, Michigan that happened to gain 300 pounds, lose 300 pounds, and now I'm sitting in front of you. So, but it's all God's work. It's in God's hands. So I really want to say that. Okay.
And I appreciate that.
So, all right. So Oprah. Uh-huh. So how does Oprah happen? So I'm losing all this weight, and it's from 2000 to 2002, and I'm losing all this weight. And my parents, my mom and dad, live in Michigan, Detroit, Allen Park, and they were big Oprah fans. So they would always sit there at 4 o'clock, I think, in the Eastern time zone, and they would watch Oprah. And I'm losing all this weight, and I can still hear my mom's voice says, "My little Ricky has lost weight. How come he can't be on Oprah?" Well, in June of 2002, I wrote Oprah a letter. They were, trying to get more people to go on the weight loss shows. So I wrote her a letter, sent a bunch of before pictures and stuff like that, and just sent it off, not thinking that I would ever get on the show. So it comes to October of 2002. I've lost all 300 pounds. November 15th of 2002, I meet my wife on a blind date. We go out, okay, and my parents come down from Michigan. Cooper Aerobic Center names me the Cooper Man of the Year. All of these things are happening, okay? So
Wow.
then it's January of 2003. I come back from Detroit. I went home for Christmas to see my family, and I come home, and the little red light is blinking on my phone, like I have voicemail at work. So I said, okay, I wonder who this is. So I pick up the phone, and I still remember the conversation to this day. She goes, this is Caroline Ziv from the Oprah Winfrey Show. We got your stuff from 6 months ago. We keep everything. We don't throw anything away, so please call us. And it was just like,
Wow.
So I called my parents, and I called my mom. Now, you're not going to believe who called me. And they go, well, you need to call her. I said, okay, I'll call her. So I call a line. I'm thinking I'm going to be put on hold or something like that. So I call the number, and it says, hello, this is Harpo Studios, and hello, this is Rick Salewske. Oh, Caroline wants to speak to you. I go, wow, I didn't
This
expect.
really is happening.
This is really happening.
Goodness.
So Caroline gets on the phone. She goes, hi, Rick. I said, hi, Caroline. How are you? She says, well, we're fine. And you called. And she goes, yes, we got your letter from 6 months ago, and we don't throw anything away. And we're doing a weight loss show, and we have another one next week. So we're trying to find some more people. We have one more spot open for the show.
One more.
And we want to talk to you. So tell us a little bit about your story. Tell us how you lost the 300 pounds. And I think the reason I got on the show is I told them the following. I said, they asked me one really particular question. Have you done anything different? Has anything happened since you've lost all the weight? I said, well, yeah, of course. They go, what? Well, I have a girlfriend. And they go,
Bingo,
right. And they said, you didn't have a girlfriend? I said, no. Well, when's the last time you had a girlfriend? Now, remember, at this time, I'm 40, okay? And I just turned 40. And I said, high school. And Caroline says, you're telling me you didn't date anybody for all those years? I said, I lived in Dallas, Texas. You think I'm going to find a day when I'm 300, 400, 500, 538 pounds? I couldn't even fit in. I couldn't even go into a restaurant. I couldn't sit in a chair. I couldn't, it was hard to, if it had sides in it, I couldn't fit into it. If it was a booth, I couldn't get into it. So yeah, I did not date anybody for all those years. And then after I lost all the weight, somebody from the Cooper Aerobic Center set me up on a date. And her name was Kelly. So we've been dating for, like a month. And I think that's why I got on the show, because it was all women producers, and they thought, here's this schmuck, okay, that doesn't date for 20 years and gains all this weight, loses all this weight, and now he's got a girlfriend.
And gets discovered.
Yes, right.
Women discovered you. You're a handsome
well,
man.
One woman discovered me. One. Don't give me no many.
That's all it took.
One. Yeah, one.
The one.
So, they asked me questions about, how the relationship was. They said, we've been dating for a month. And then they started asking questions like, all right, so you've never been on a really date. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? Have you ever had a nice suit? I go, no, of course not. Have you ever driven a nice car? No, of course not. Do you know how to dance? Not really. So, I was just like,
goodness.
yes. And they just started asking me all these questions. And I kind of got to, I think, what they were trying to get at was that they thought it was kind of cool. They thought it was different that, here's a guy who doesn't date anybody, and now he's got a girlfriend. And I think that's why I got on the show. So that was like it was on a Tuesday, I think. And then I still remember she said, now, Rick, I'm going to tell you something. It's very rare that anybody gets on Oprah. So just because you lost 300 pounds doesn't mean you're going to be on the show. But we're going to talk about it here, and we'll let you know in 2 days. So then I had to wait. I had to wait 2 days to say if I was going to be on the show. And then she called me on a Thursday, and it's in the book. And basically she says, Rick, your world's about to change. Wow. I said, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, you're going to be on the show. And then they sent me and Kelly on this dream date. They sent me down to Neiman Marcus. They got me this nice suit. They sent Kelly to get her hair done. And then they sent us to the mansion. Okay, and
that's not bad.
Yeah, and we had dinner there, and they videoed it, recorded it, all this. They rented me a Corvette so I could drive a nice car. Because remember, so I have the suit, I have a nice car, I have a nice restaurant.
Dancing shoes.
We do ballroom dancing at the mansion, so that's where the dancing was. And then we ended the date on a horse-drawn carriage in downtown Dallas. And
how
that was
romantic.
yeah, and that was the day. And they filmed all this, and they flew us up to Chicago, and we were on the show. Now on the show, oh, that was a trip. I mean, I've still never felt the way that they treated me, because they treat you like a movie star. I had my own hairstylist, and they did my hair, and you want to hear a really funny story?
Of course.
Okay, so they bought me this really nice suit from Neiman Marcus, and they told me to bring this to Chicago. So I bring it on the plane, and they pay for everything. They pick you up in a limo and all this, so they treat you really nice. So I have this. So put your suit on, right? And they do my hair. I put the suit on, and they go, "It's not good." What do you mean it's not good? You just don't look good in it. Well, I don't have any other clothes. You told me to bring the suit. I brought the suit. And I'm kind of like arguing with the lady, and she goes, "Just hold on." She goes, "Come with me." So they take me to this room. There's all of these clothes, okay? And they go,
And this is on Oprah?
Yeah, this is in the studio, right? And keep your pants on. I said, okay. And they said, well, take your shirt off. Well, at that time, I still had surgery to get rid of skin. So I had all this skin, and I wasn't too crazy about taking my shirt off. And they said, don't worry, Rick, it's not on film, it's not on camera, but we want you to try on a couple of shirts. So they had me try on a couple of shirts, and then they brought out this black turtleneck sweater. I've never wore a black turtleneck sweater before. And they go, put this on.
And the picture is being shown.
And they put this turtleneck sweater on me, this black sweater, and my pants and everything, and the producer says, "Oh, Rick." And they actually took me outside outside the room to Caroline. Says, "Caroline, what do you think about this?" And "Oh, that's great,
Wow.
Rick. That's what you're going to wear." And that's the picture from Oprah, because
Right.
that's from the first show. I'm wearing this black turtleneck, so and that was the first show. And then the second show, I wanted to propose to Kelly.
You're on twice.
Yeah, I was on twice.
This is not bad.
Yeah, January 2003, and I was really full of. If you look at the clips, so like you can go to like YouTube and see the clips. I'm full of energy. Okay, because they gave me like a big cup of coffee, and I was just like, when I go on the stage, I put my hands up like Rocky, and I don't even shake Oprah's hand.
I saw that.
Yeah,
that was great.
And
the clip is being shown, of course, the audience can see it.
yeah, and so I had a lot of energy. So 3 months later, when I wanted to propose to Kelly, I emailed the show, and I said I kind of fibbed to him. I said, I want to propose to her like in Chicago. So do you know a nice restaurant? It was just a way to get the email, because I really wanted to do it on the show. That was my whole purpose of the email.
Sure.
So, and at the end of the email, I said, well, unless I can do it on the show. Well, Caroline said, call me.
Bingo again.
Bingo. So I call Caroline, and I go, what's going on? And she goes, you really want to propose to her? I go, well, yeah. Is she going to say yes? I go, yeah. How do you know? Oh, come on, I'm 40, she's 33. She's going to say yes. We've already talked about kids' names, And she goes,
That's a clue.
I go, why? We're doing another weight loss show next week. You want to be on it? So I can be on next week? She goes, yeah. So I got to propose to her next week. She goes, yeah. I got to get a ring next week. Yeah. I go, I got to figure out how to get her to Chicago without her telling her that I'm going to propose to her. Yeah. I go, oh, well, give me a day. Let me see if I really want to do it. So I thought about it for a day. Then I came back. I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So I called the show back up, and he said, all right, you're on the show, just like that. And it was crazy.
It was
I had to
beautiful.
make sure that when we went through the metal detector that she went ahead of me, so I could get the ring through, and then she didn't see the ring. And then when we got to Chicago, some of the other people on the show found out about it, so I had to keep her away from everybody. And then, it was just like really secretive, but we pulled it off.
You're so beautiful. Not only are you beautiful and sexy outside, you're beautiful and sexy inside. You taught me something that I thought I never could do, which was to love the heart and the soul of a person. Most people are afraid of a commitment. I'm more afraid of what my life would be without you. You don't know how many mornings I get up and I just get on my knees and I pray to God how lucky I am. Thank you for caring for me, for understanding me, for supporting me, and most of all, for loving me. So Since we are here, I was just wondering, Miss Kelly McDermott,
Oh my gosh.
will you marry me?
And it was just beautiful. So that is the story of your life. It ended so beautifully. I have to ask you a couple of questions about before that. In the book, you talked about that you had a dream about the grave,
Yes,
and it
it was.
was a trigger for you, because the whole point is what was kind of a trigger to get you to realize, I better do something.
Yeah, so it's the beginning part of 2000, okay? And, I'm 500 pounds, and I'm getting close to 538 pounds. And three things really happen. One is the dream. I have a dream where, because I have two brothers and two sisters, I had a dream that they were lowering me to the ground, that I died. And I saw the dream to where they were lowering me to the ground, that I was dead. And that was the dream. I woke up, and, of course, you just get really scared. God, what kind of dream of that? Then I had a job opportunity in Detroit in the spring of 2000, so I could go home. I've been in Dallas for 18 years, and I could go home. And I accepted the job because they hired me over the phone. They didn't know I was over 500 pounds. And then once they hired me, I thought about what it was going to be like to walk in that office. What it was going to be like to walk in the office at 538 pounds and say, wow, this is what we hired? This is who we hired? What if they had a chair that had sides on it? And I couldn't fit in the chair. I would have to ask for a new chair. So I called the guy back up and I said, I have to turn down the job. He said, well, why, Rick? We thought it was a perfect fit. You're from Detroit. You've been in Dallas. Now you want to come home. Why? Because I weigh over 500 pounds. Well, that doesn't matter. We cannot not hire you because you weigh over 500 pounds, Rick. Can you do the job? Well, yes. And then why don't you take the job? I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't walk in that office over 500 pounds. So I turned down the job. Then, I graduated in 1980. It's the year 2000, 20 years. Class reunion back in Michigan.
Whoa.
20 years. So it's like, how can I go back? I can't go back.
And you didn't have weight on.
No. And most people, and we left, me and my buddies, I came to Texas with Gary and Danny, and we left in 1981. So a lot of people I had not seen since 1981, and I was skinny in 1981 when I came to Dallas. So I thought, what was going to be like to go to that class reunion and walk in and they see me at 538. It would just be, there's no way I could go. There's no way. So class reunion, couldn't go, turned down the job, and then I had the dream. So all those things happened in the early part of 2000. Then in the summer of 2000, you want to talk about Bill?
Yes, your boss, because he was
The catalyst.
Yes, let me just set this up because I was absolutely taken in the book when you talked about Bill, to have a boss like Bill. So tell us about the boss named Bill, who, by the way, you've now been with the company how many years?
43 years.
Same job.
Same job.
Same company.
Same company.
Different man.
Yes, that's right.
Different man.
Bill retired years ago, so he's no longer there. But.
So listen up, audience, to what this boss did for Rick.
So he knew that I had been offered a job. And I had been asking him for another job, inside the company, if I could move up. So he said, I'm going to come down to Dallas. He's from Ohio. He's come down to Dallas, and I'm going to take you out to dinner. We're going to talk. So he was really, really nice. He said, I know about the other job. We're going to give you a little raise because you stayed. And he goes, but I really want to talk to you about where you want to go. You've been here for 18 years at this time. Where do you want to go? And I know you want to move up. And he goes, now remember, this is the year 2000, and these things can be said. And
he was harsh.
He was harsh.
Tell us what he said.
I can't move you up, Rick. He goes, what do you weigh? And I said, over 500 pounds. I can't put you in front of customers. Can you fly? No. So you can't even fly. So I'm sorry, Rick. I can't really do anything to help you move up inside the company because of your weight. And like I said, they couldn't do that in 2024, but in the year 2000, they could. And that's what he said. And it was fine. I wasn't upset with him or anything like that. You know, I said, that's fine. And I looked at him square in the eyes, and I said, well, I guess I'll just have to lose the weight.
I love that in the book. I guess I'll just have to lose the weight.
And he goes, you're going to lose, what, 300 pounds or something? And I go, yeah. He goes, well, how are you going to do it? I said, I'm just going to have to lower my calories, and I'm going to have to start exercising. And he goes, you don't want to have like surgery or anything like that? I said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, I want to exercise and I want to change my eating habits, and eventually the weight will come off. And if I can do that, it'll teach me how to do it, and I can do it for the rest of my life.
So
and I can keep the weight off.
You took the weight off in 2 years, is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
At the Cooper Clinic.
Aerobic Center. And he
Aerobic
knew,
Center.
and Bill's sister interned at the Cooper Aerobic Center, so that was my in to go into, that's why he told me to go to Cooper. I never even heard about Cooper and Dr. Cooper, so he said, go to Cooper, and then he offered money. He said, here's some money, we'll help pay for some things, but go find a program and, find it in a couple months. And he told me about Cooper.
That's the piece that I think is so beautiful, to have a boss. It strikes me that all the way through, you were beginning to see things, and then you mentioned choices, as we talked earlier before we got on camera. It is about choices, everything in life, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I made the choice to go to Cooper. I made the choice to stay there. I made the choice to wanting to lose the weight, and it is. When I talk to young kids these days, I always tell them, I talk to 8th and 9th and 10th graders, and it's your choice. It's your choice whether to exercise. It's your choice whether to smoke or not smoke, or do drugs or to drink. It's your choice whether to go to church or not go to church and have faith. The story that I love is when I get done my presentation with the kids, and I look at them and I say, okay, now, if I'm Jesus, okay, years and years ago, and when he was doing miracles, okay? Imagine all that. Okay, now, if I brought somebody in here and he was blind and I made him see, like Jesus did all the way back then, would you believe that God was working through me? Because I just performed this miracle? And the kids say, well, yeah, if you made somebody see. I said, no, wait a second. Look at me. I was 38 years old. I was 538 pounds. Hadn't dated anybody for 20 years. Now, 24 years later, I'm down to 200 pounds. Been married for over 20 years to Kelly. Have 3 beautiful kids, Owen, Henry, and Meg. The people that have come to my life have all been Christians. People that helped me through all of this have all been Christians. You don't see God working through me? You don't see that? God is there for all of us. We just need to partner with him to help us do whatever you need to do. So I'm telling all you kids, whenever you have a problem, rely on God. Take your hands off the steering wheel. Let him steer your car, whether it be a test, whether it be a girlfriend, whether somebody says, here, smoke this joint, and you have to say no. Regardless of whatever it is.
Be strong.
Be strong. Be strong in your faith. God will get you through it.
And I love that. That's one of your top takeaways that the audience knows I always ask. Partner with God to solve your problems. A couple of others, though, that fit so well right into exactly what we're talking about, Rick. Live a healthy life. Absolutely. That we have a choice. Last night I started to go to the fridge, and we do have ice cream in there, and I had to think twice, and I got a banana. Good for me. How about that? But you also said never give up, which, my goodness, all the lessons that I could share too about never giving up. And then a couple of other ones I want to mention. You said this one, strive to be better. Strive to be better. But you added on to that a better husband, a better father, a better brother, and I'll add a better friend, a better colleague. The day we stopped striving to be better, put me under the grave. In closing out your story and bringing it up to today, I have a fun question.
Okay.
Okay, so you and Kelly are having a dinner party, Rick, and you decide you're going to invite people, and you can invite anybody you want, from history, from theater, from famous people. The world is your oyster.
You're going to make me cry. You know that, don't you?
I don't.
Okay. You ready?
Who would you invite?
Oh, it's my family and friends. It's my mom and my dad are gone. My brother's gone. All right, all right, but it's my
That's
mom
good.
and my dad.
That's
it's my
good.
brother who's gone. My brother and my two sisters who are still alive. My best friends in the world. Okay, like there's Jeff, there's Lewis, there's Gary that I've known my whole life, and all my friends. That's who I would invite. You know, people that are gone, and you know, especially my parents and my brother. You know, and then my two sisters and my brother and my best friends, Jeff, Lewis, Gary. And then all the friends, Brooke, you know, who funded the book, who helped me write the book, you know, Cindy, the writer, all my friends, you know, of course, Kelly and the kids and everything, but it wouldn't
Friendship.
be anybody, it would be family and
Family
friends.
and friends.
Because that's what's really important. You know, I tell my friends all the time, if we can live to be 90, this is one of the, I always say, you know, what keeps you motivated to lose weight or be healthy, and I always tell people, the longer you live, the better your life is. Okay, if you have a friendship and you both can live to be 90 and you met each other when you're both 5, okay?
How fun is that?
How fun is that? Like me and Gary and me and Jeff and me and Lewis, okay, the three of us. We've known each other since we were 5 years old.
That's friendship.
So if we can live to
That's
be 90,
friendship.
we'll be sitting someplace and say, we've known each other for 85 years. You know, and that's crazy.
And I'll have you back on the show.
You know, and
Doing this.
You know, so to me, that's who I would invite. My parents and my brother were gone.
That's
but
great.
but all my family, all my friends, and that's who it would be.
That's a pretty real guy answering that question. So
And I didn't cry. I cried for a little bit, but
crying's good. It's okay. All right. So here's something kind of switching gears and being a little silly, because I like to do that once in a while when I feel comfortable with the guest.
oh wait, if we're going to be silly, we have to say something. Can we say something?
We can say something.
So when I was a little, and this is in the book, when I was a little kid, I couldn't say ours. Okay.
You couldn't.
So they would say, "What's your name?" And I would say, Salewske, because I couldn't say ours. So then my sisters and my brother, they came up with this saying, and it was because I couldn't say ours. So it was just like, you know, they always kidded me. My little sister Renee, who was 4 years younger than me, could say hospital before I could say it. All right, and you'll hear in the book where I didn't talk until I was 5, and when they took me to the doctor, they said, "There's nothing wrong with that guy. He's just lazy." You know, he's got these brothers and sisters, so the
They spoke for you.
The phrase that they would call me, Hawiki, because I couldn't say ours. So there you go. That'll make you laugh.
That's a story.
That'll make you laugh.
That
my sisters,
does make me laugh.
When my sisters see this and my brother, they'll laugh. They'll
Well, they
chuckle.
better see it, and they better hit the red button and subscribe, which, by the way, I do want to remind people, thank you for that trigger. There's this red button, and it says subscribe. And you know what, audience? That means everything to me as a host, because it says there are people out there that are listening and willing to hit the red button. Now, what does that mean? Nothing. Except for you, except you get a reminder that the next show is coming. So do me a favor, will you hit the red button and subscribe? All right. And the other thing I want to remind you, too, is I get my clothes periodically from a wonderful woman, Betty Ryder, and Jan, who works there with her for many, many years. And I just want to hold this up. The Betty Ryder Boutique is at Preston Center, Northwest Highway and Preston Road. I want you to go in there and take a look at her beautiful clothes. They are boutique, they are luxury, they're lovely, and the people that work there are absolutely wonderful. Okay, Rick, here's some words. Just answer whatever comes to your mind. Cranky.
Me when I get off work.
Vacation.
I don't think enough of it.
Sports.
Love them. I'm from Detroit. I'm a Tigers, Lions, Pistons, Red Wings fan.
All right. Commitment.
To my wife, to my kids, to my faith, to my friends. 3 F's: family, faith, and friends.
I like that. Delicious.
Used to be ice cream. Used to be cheesecake. Used to be banana cream pie. Now it's watermelon and apples and plums and oranges and salmon
Boy,
and vegetables.
that is a
and
mind
chicken
switch.
and water.
That is a
I
mind
haven't had ice
switch.
cream in 24 years. I may never eat another piece of cake again for the rest of my life. I may never do it again.
Well, good
there's
for
just,
you.
There's no
Sugar.
sugar, yeah.
Sugar, awful. Joy.
My wife, my kids, my faith, my family,
Hmm.
my friends. That's all I need. That's all I need. I don't need money, okay? And I know we're talking about the book and selling the book and all that, but I don't need that. I need my family. I need my wife. I need my kids. I need my friends. I need my faith.
And you know, Rick, that's a great way to close out the show by saying, what is it really that's important in life? And my audience knows that the whole show is about authenticity. When the rubber hits the road, the bottom line is your friends and your family and people who are, again, authentic. And this world is full of people who aren't. And I, for one, want to go up to them and go, and just rub it off. But that's just my opinion.
But remember, faith is like muscles. If you don't use it,
You'll lose it.
You could lose it. So I try to exercise my faith. I try to exercise my body with the hope that they both get stronger.
Well said. Well said. You
And
are.
do I have anything else left to say?
Do you want to say
Yeah,
something?
I
Matt?
want to say two more things.
Two more things.
Okay, two
Go
more
right
things.
ahead.
I really want to thank the Cooper Aerobic Center. If it wasn't for Dr. Cooper and his son Tyler, I wouldn't be here today. I'd be dead. And I'm married and have 3 kids. So if they didn't let me come into their place and treat me like family, I wouldn't be here. And then Cindy, I really want, Cindy's got another book coming out.
That's the author of your book.
Cindy's the author of the book. I did not write the book. Cindy wrote the book. We talked for a long time, and she interviewed all my family, and she's the one that I couldn't do this. And she's the one that came up with, I came up with Half the Man. She came up with Twice the Faith. And she has another book coming out called He Knew Me First. And it's coming out later on. And it's another faith book, and it's a really amazing book.
It takes a lot to write a book. I know that.
Yes.
and edit one and take your wisdom and put it in one. So kudos to Cindy Woods. I hope you're watching, Cindy. That's a fabulous show we did with you today, sir. One more time, I'm going to hold this up and those of you who are on Spotify and audio, you can't see this, but I wish you could, because his pants that he was wearing, I don't know, maybe 4 people could fit in them. And here he is. That is just a story. The real man is right here. And to those of you, and I mean this from my heart, to those of you who are struggling with anything, whether it's weight or depression or anxiety, I know I'm talking to a lot of people. And the advice I would give is very much the advice he is giving, which is it's that switch in your head and the change in your heart. Have your faith, take action, and do something. Get up and do something. I happen to have family members who I hope are listening to this show, and I'm going to pick up the phone and make sure that they are, because it's a lesson for them as well. So with that, Rick, I always leave with the Valerieism. So let me tell you what mine is today, all right? A winner, and it has everything to do with you, a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. Now, that was actually a quote from Vince Lombardi, but I think it so fits today. I'm going to say it again. A winner never quits and a quitter never wins. So, folks, that's our story for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you again, Rick, for being my guest.
Thank you.
You'll be on the show forever because it's evergreen. So however many years I live, it's still there.
We'll come back. We'll come back and do it again.
All right, we'll do that. Until next time, be blessed, stay authentic, and keep doing it right. It's a wrap.
Thanks for listening. To receive Valerie's voice, free monthly leadership tips, and to learn more about her leadership programs and coaching, visit her website, valerieandcompany.com. Next week, we'll be here again to inspire, engage, and equip you with teachable points of view from successful leaders who have been doing it right. Until then, lead authentically.